Welcome to The Explainer. We're jumping right in today because we need to talk about a storm of historic proportions that's currently carving a path of destruction across the Caribbean.
Okay, take a look at this. This is Hurricane Melissa, a massive storm system threatening the Greater Antilles with absolutely catastrophic force. It has blown up incredibly fast, becoming the 13th named cyclone of what's been a very active 2025 season. Right now, we're talking sustained winds of up to 240 kilometers per hour. And get this, forecasters are warning there's a real possibility it could ramp up even more into a monster Category 5 hurricane.
And on top of that brutal wind, the rainfall predictions are just staggering. Some of the hardest hit areas are expected to get up to 1,000 millimeters. That is a full meter of rain. Just try to picture that.
But here's the thing that makes Melissa uniquely dangerous. It's not just its raw power, it's how terrifyingly slow it's moving. We're talking about the pace of a slow walk.
So let's really dig into why this storm's slow pace is its biggest and, frankly, its most dangerous threat.
You know, this stall effect is a real game changer. It basically transforms a hurricane from a battering ram into a siege engine. Instead of a few hours of intense weather, communities face a relentless, multi-day assault, just dumping unimaginable amounts of rain and grinding down everything with those persistent, destructive winds.
And just to put that in perspective for you, a typical hurricane usually moves through an area pretty quickly, but Melissa? Nope. It is just crawling across the region, which means it's maximizing its destructive potential with every single kilometer it lingers. This storm also carries some serious historical weight. If Melissa does reach that ultimate Category 5 status, it would make the 2025 season one of the most intense in 20 years, putting it right up there with the infamous 2005 season. Yeah, the one that gave us Hurricane Katrina.
And this threat isn't just theoretical. This isn't a what-if. Let's look at how it's already becoming a tragic reality on the ground.
The island of Hispaniola, which is shared by Haiti and the Dominican Republic, is already getting the storm's first devastating impacts. The reports coming out are just heartbreaking. Casualties already confirmed, widespread damage, and a teenager is still missing.
Over in the Dominican Republic, the relentless rain has already crippled the infrastructure. More than 647,000 people have been cut off from their drinking water supply because the storm is just completely overwhelming the water systems. The scale of the human risk here is just immense. UNICEF has issued a dire warning, saying that more than 1.6 million children across the Caribbean are directly in the storm's path, and they are exceptionally vulnerable.
From Hispaniola, the storm's path leads directly to Jamaica, which is now bracing for a direct hit. The entire nation is on its highest alert. Airports are closed, and mandatory evacuations are underway for what could be the strongest hurricane to strike the island in over 30 years. And just north of Jamaica, the storm's next target is Cuba. But as the island launches this massive national preparation effort, a really stark political controversy is unfolding. Cuba is in full-on emergency mode. Hurricane alerts are active for the eastern provinces, and the country is undertaking mass evacuations, moving over 145,000 people in Guantanamo province alone to safer ground before the storm hits. Now, as Cuba prepares, the actions of another leader in the region really provide a sharp contrast. Mexico's Prime Minister Claudia Sheinbaum recently canceled her own foreign trip to manage a domestic emergency, and she stated it simply, "One must take care of the country."
So here's the crucial point. As Cuba's Meteorological Institute warns that Melissa could intensify into a major hurricane just south of the island, and while hundreds of thousands of people are evacuating for their lives, Prime Minister Manuel Marrero Cruz has left the country for an investment forum in Saudi Arabia. It's a decision that's drawing a lot of criticism about the government's priorities in a moment of crisis.
So with the storm's slow, agonizing journey far from over, what does the immediate future hold for the millions of people who are still in its path?
Well, the danger certainly isn't over after the first landfall. The storm's slow trajectory means these critical, life-threatening conditions could persist for several more days as it continues on its projected path toward the Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos.
For everyone in the storm's path, civil protection agencies are emphasizing these key safety protocols. Following official guidance is critical, and that warning to never ever attempt to cross flooded areas could absolutely be the difference between life and death.
You know, the situation with Melissa leaves us with a critical question. This isn't just about one storm. It's about a pattern of slower, stronger, and wetter hurricanes. So as these storms become more and more common, How must entire nations adapt to survive a new and more dangerous reality?